Okay, I'm going to open the first gift, and it is a hymn. Yay, I can do this. Okay, please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing number 235, Deck the Halls, in the hardcover hymnal.
I'm opening the next gift, and it is the Time for All Ages.
Leave it to my child to, just throw it at me. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are we doing? Are we ready to, be a little wild and crazy and do things a little different? We're going to have fun. And we need more people to open presents. I'm just saying. So I have a story for you today, though. It's called The Rebirth of the Sun. It was the middle of the winter, and the sun had grown very old. All year long, the sun had worked very hard, rising and setting day after day. All year long, the sun had fed everybody on earth, shining and shining, giving energy to the trees and the flowers and the grasses so that they could grow and feed the animals and the birds and the insects and the people. All year, the sun's gravity had held tight to the spinning ball of the earth and the twirling ball of the moon and all 8 of the whirling planets as they traveled around and around and around until the poor sun was dizzy watching it all. Now, the poor tired sun could barely make it up in the morning, and after a very short time, needed to sleep again. So the days grew shorter and the nights grew longer until the day was so short it was hardly worth getting up for. Night felt sorry for the sun. "Come into my arms and rest, my child," she said. "After all, I am your mother. You were born out of my darkness billions of years ago, and you will return to me when all things end. Let me cradle you now as I shelter every galaxy and star in the universe." So Night wrapped her great arms around the sun, and the night was very long indeed. "Why does it stay dark for so long?" asked the children all over Earth. Won't the sun ever come back again? The sun is very tired, the old ones said. But maybe if you children say thank you for all of the things the sun does for us, the light might return in the morning. So the children sang songs to the sun. They thought about all of the things the sun gave them. Thank you for growing the lettuces and the corn and the rice and the wheat, they said. Thank you for growing the trees of the forest and the seaweed of the oceans and the krill that feeds the whales. Thank you for stirring the air and making winds to bring the rains. And every time the child said thank you, the sun began to feel a little warmer, a little brighter. Wrapped safely in the arms of night, the sun grew younger and younger. At last, the children had to go to bed. We will stay up and wait for the sun to rise again, the old one said. Can't we stay up too? Said the children. You can try, but you're going to get too tired. But you could each light a candle, because all fire is a spark of the sun's flame. So put your candle in a very, very safe place and let it keep vigil for you while you sleep and dream of sunrise. So the children lit their candles and put them in a very, very safe place. This is important. If you light a candle, put it in a very safe place, please. Especially if you're gonna light it overnight. So, and each flame was a little spark of the sun's fire. And as the sun peeped out from between the arms of night and saw all of the little fires, it began to feel warmer and brighter and younger still. Early in the morning, the old ones woke the children, and together they climbed a high hill and faced the east, the direction of sunrise. They sang songs to the sun and ran around trying to keep warm. They waited and waited and waited to see what dawn would bring. The sky began to turn from black to indigo to blue, and slowly the sky grew light. A golden glow crept over the horizon, and night opened her great arms, and in a burst of brightness, the sun appeared, new and strong and shining. In the long night, the sun had rested well and grown young. And from the songs of the thanks of the children, the young as a brand new baby born out of night once more. Everyone cheered, and the children jumped up and down. The sun has returned, the sun is reborn, the people cried. And they danced and they sang to celebrate the birth of a new day, and then they went home for breakfast. The end. Can I open the next package? Or someone want to open the next one? Okay, let's. Come on, Stark.
It says Hanukkah Menorah Blessing. What do I do?
Do you want to read it, or do you want to ask Patty to read it?
We honor all the great mysteries of the universe, the source of all, which deems everything sacred by its power to unite us, and gives us the radiance that we bring forth together as we kindle the Hanukkah lights. We celebrate the spirit of life, the wellspring of all that persevere, and imagine as we look upon with reverence and the wondrous great fortune which has been bestowed upon our ancestors throughout antiquity. We cherish the wonder of each thing, the order of the service that binds us together with all the nature, giving us life and sustaining us and enabling us to reach the season.
And that was all. Do you know which one of those behind us is the Hanukkah menorah? Exactly. You can take the box. Who's going to open our next? Are you going to open the next one, Etsy? Okay. I'm just going to stay up here. Of course, you picked the Grinch one. Come here. I'm very surprised you're this gentle of a package opener. I was expecting more. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is, in the very bottom. What does that say? Let's see here. It says, lighting the chalice. Would you like to light the chalice? Okay. Do you want me to read it for you? You can read it? Okay. Josh, do you want to come help? There you go.
Okay. Please rise in body or spirit for the lighting of the chalice. We light this chalice as a symbol of our free faith. We light this chalice to remember the miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days. We light this chalice to mark the nights of midwinter. We light this chalice as we wait for the sun to return. Good job. Okay. Yeah. Next. Okay. Take it back to the seat. Okay. Right down. Back to seat.
Opening words. As December opens up before us, As December opens up before us, we welcome in the gift of reflection. We turn on towards our holiday and celebrations in search for common threads of meaning. We begin with Yule, the winter solstice, and we invite to explore duality, cycles, and seasons, to witness the holly king being overcome by the oak king. Yule reminds us that we all partake in the miracle of renewal. Hanukkah, the festival of lights, commemorates a time of miracles when the fate of Jewish people it has so many confusing words. Jewish people sustained them to reclaim their holy temple and keep the light of menorah burning the lights of 8 days. Christmas, the celebration of Jesus' humble birth in a manger, offers us to revisit the miracle of birth and desire to find saviors to heal the scary of humanity. Here in our church, you are as much as a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth is persistence and dedication to faith. All of the creation of each new life, we see the love you give to others in the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit to entrust you to this community. You are the holiday miracle. This community is one of miracle makers.
Closing words. As we go forward into this frightening, exhilarating, confusing, miraculous world, may we offer our comfort to the afflicted, our love to those who are lonely, and our wish for all to be safe.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing 22 light 221 light one candle in the hardcover hymnal.
Hallelujah.
of the chime.
Sermon. Isn't this fun? The reason we're doing this, in case you were a little late this morning, is because we are doing this unwrapping service with all of our different service elements to honor the diversity of thought and celebrations that are happening this week and have happened this whole month. So, what did you learn from the other generations this past month? Did you learn some things? I learned a lot. When I decided several months ago to honor all the generations through age-defined services here in our community, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had this vision in my mind, and then, handing it off to folks and hoping for the best. It was quite an adventure. I knew that giving up my pulpit for that amount of time was a little bit dangerous, as some folks might think that I was not working as hard as usual. But what these folks may not realize is I was coordinating Unitarian Universalists. It was 4 times as much work, I promise. But it was really, really important for me to step aside and to make room for other voices in our community, to hear from all of you, to honor the people in this community who bring such different perspectives into our space as we work to find common ground and transform our individual selves as we work to transform the greater community. I was so grateful and impressed with all the offerings that were shared. Spoken words, personal witness to the congregation, musical offerings, and everyone who chose to represent their generation. I'll be thinking about what you all shared for a long time and hope that you too absorbed a lot of the wisdom that was shared aloud here. Our elders that first week testified that they came to our community for the same reasons many of the younger families come to this community, as a place to hand on that generational wisdom. Our boomers explained how important it is to get involved, to make friends, and to find ways to be in service to the community. Our Gen Xers pointed out the importance of this space as a place to be seen and heard and appreciate each person's individual journey. Our young adults talked about the importance of mental health support and recognizing that our elders are special and how we can all do social justice work together. If you missed one of these weeks in service, I really invite you to go back and watch these services on YouTube, as they were all powerful. And also, for many of the messages shared, we actually have transcripts for those who would like to read them. And our children and youth represented so well last week, bringing us fully into the Christmas season, reminding us of those wisdom stories passed from generation to generation. These wisdom stories are passed down just like our holiday stories and traditions. Can anyone tell me how many holidays are celebrated in December? Anyone want to make a guess? Juanzetta? 4? 7? Piper? 3? 50? Ezio? 5? 14. Stark? A lot. A lot. Yes, so depending on your definition of holy day, there are a lot of holidays in December. Thank you, Stark. Even if you restrict your definition to a religious holiday, there are at least 16 religious holidays celebrated in the United States, celebrating aspects of Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, humanism, African traditions, and in some years, although not this one due to the calendar, Hinduism. It's important to remember that our holidays are not the only holidays celebrated. And in this congregation, many people celebrate different holidays, and that's okay. This week alone, folks in our church are celebrating Yule, Hanukkah, Human Light, Christmas, and Kwanzaa that I know of. Let's just take a roll call for a moment by raising hands. Who here celebrates Yule? And you folks online, type it in the chat. All right, and they all sit together. How fun. All right, who celebrates Hanukkah? Anyone celebrate Hanukkah? We've got a couple folks. Yeah, okay. Who celebrates Human Light, our humanist holiday? A few of you do, yes, okay. Who celebrates Christmas? Okay. Who celebrates Kwanzaa? Okay. So, who celebrates something I didn't mention? Ezio and Stark, yes. All right, there's a few in here. All right. So our church, it epitomizes the belief that the greeting this season is happy holidays, because there is so much to celebrate. At Yule, we celebrate the longest night of the year, remembering that our whole planet is going to shift that night to make the day shorter and the night shorter and the days longer after Yule. And honoring this longest night is a tradition going back to our Neolithic ancestors who depended on the stars and watched the movement of the stars for their survival and their hunting. Yule includes rituals like the lighting of a Yule log and making homemade gifts for neighbors and acquaintances. Not just your best friends and family, but people you barely know, to reach out into those places. And of course, sharing a meal together. Throughout Hanukkah, we remember the Jewish heroes who overthrew their oppressors and rebuilt their temple. Hanukkah is celebrated by the lighting of the menorah, the symbol of God's provision to the people, stretching 1 day's worth of oil into 8 days' worth of oil. Hanukkah means dedication because the Jewish people rededicated their temple after overthrowing their oppressors. And Hanukkah is celebrated by special meals and gifts and playing games like dreidel. Human Light, which many of you may not have heard of, it was very recently invented. I say that, it was invented in 2001, and so it's been over 20 years now. But it is a winter celebration of humanists, because humanists felt a little left out in this season of all of these holidays, so they created their own, and blessings to them all. And so Human Light celebrates the positive secular human values of reason, compassion, humanity, and hope. Say it with me. Reason, compassion, humanity, and hope. Okay, so they celebrate also with a meal. It's kind of a theme. They light candles to honor their 4 values and service to others. Christmas honors the birth of a Palestinian Jewish baby named Jesus, and that's about as much as we can agree on, right? People celebrate it in a lot of ways. We watched last week as our children, with help from other generations, retold the story, focusing on the Unitarian Universalist values within that story. The struggle of Jesus' parents to make a long journey at the end of a pregnancy. the welcome and inclusion of the poor shepherds, the elements of wonder and miracle which highlight the celebration of any infant's birth. Kwanzaa is a holiday created for and by our African American friends to celebrate their history and honor their values of unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. It's a lot of things. And if you want a good lesson on Kwanzaa, I invite you to go back through our YouTube page to last Kwanzaa, December 26, 2021, which was led by Sherette Spicer, where she talked about Kwanzaa as someone who celebrates it. We are a community that celebrates and embraces true theological diversity. And this is not something we talk about often, but we need to talk about it more often. At our last lay leader training, our Beacon program, we talked about how we are truly a theologically diverse body. We sat down and talked about those major theological issues and unpacked them. And no one in the room agreed with everything. It was a perfect Unitarian Universalist space. Nobody agreed, and it was fine, because it's through respect and love of one another that we come to this community, knowing that our ideal is not sameness. We're not trying to be the same. We are here for the diversity of beliefs and thoughts that each of you bring to the table. We benefit from all perspectives brought into this space. In our early years of marriage, Josh and I did nothing for Christmas but the forced traditions of our respected families. Yes, some of you may feel the same way. Our first year together, we were overjoyed when a blizzard fell on Christmas Eve. And we were stuck at home with a bottle of wine and a Lego Eiffel Tower set. For those of you who are new or don't know, we're big nerds. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful time. And then we had a child. Now, we still weren't fans of Christmas the whole Christmas season. Please don't ask why. There are lots of reasons. But we had a child, and we knew that we couldn't let December pass without notice. We also felt a little awkward, incorporating other traditions that weren't necessarily ours. But we knew that the traditions that we were raised in were uncomfortable and stifling to us. We weren't fans of Santa, the grandfatherly figure that has conditional love for young children. I know. When I've been out of the pulpit this long, I just call things out. It's uncomfortable. We despised the manipulation of the Jesus story for commercial ends, as we all should. But we also knew how important it was, based on reading social science research, because I've actually read articles about this, that it's important for children to have magic. It's important for them to be able to celebrate those things and to have those magical experiences. Does anyone know what happens at Stark and Ezio's house over the holidays? Yes? Stark, Newton? Grinchmas? Yes. We celebrate Grinchmas. So because of all these feelings, we made up our own thing. Very you. And it affects no one else. It's just our immediate family, and yet it provides exactly what we want our holiday to look like. We decorate the house as little as possible, although we did not anticipate that Stark would become a Christmas elf and would beg for more and more every year. So we have a lot of decorations now. But on the night of December 23rd, that's important, the Grinch himself slides down our chimney, a rather tight pinch. Then he slithers and slunks with a smile most unpleasant. And he goes around the room and he takes every present. And at our house, the Grinch's fur usually gets caught on something, and he leaves behind a nasty note, and he makes a mess. It's a lot of work for the Grinch. We thought Stark and Ezio might be afraid of the Grinch because, the Grinch is kind of terrifying. But they know the magic of the story, and they look forward to it every year. And they know that without a doubt, the Grinch is going to bring back everything on Christmas morning after he's had his moment to rage, and then the Grinch comes together and everything's fine. And that's what I love about the Grinch story. The Grinch does a little breaking and entering, but in the end, he brings everything back, not based on a notion of behavioral acceptance, but in the spirit of the holidays, for the love of children, for togetherness and joy and gratefulness, and most importantly, for community. We all have different ways of coping with uncomfortable traditions, unpleasant family discussions, or even varied schedules. It's a challenge for many folks to coordinate schedules, to travel to see people, to solve the gift-giving dilemma without the added stresses of politics, religion, and opinions to throw into the mix. How have you resolved the stress of the season for yourself? You're allowed to do that, Perhaps you choose to spend the holiday on your own terms, in pajamas, on the couch, eating peanut brittle. Or perhaps you decided to alternate years with family or spend the holiday with family or coworkers. Maybe you decided to end gift giving or to only invite folks who don't bring extra stress to your house. Maybe you're one of these folks that puts out Disney-esque folded towels for each guest and makes homemade pastries. That's okay too. However you celebrate, you do you. We all celebrate these holidays in our own way. Just because something has always been done a certain way doesn't mean it can't change, especially if it means a better holiday for you. Being a community of varied beliefs isn't always easy. It's hard to speak to a theologically diverse group of people, and even more difficult when we invite guests to our pulpit. But it's not as if we don't have anything in common. We value our UU principles. We embrace our covenant of how we treat one another. We explore our divergent spiritual paths while also supporting and caring for the wider community. This month we are supporting Community on the Rise, which is not only providing jobs and support to our houseless population, but it also supports our climate justice efforts. They take our clean number 5 plastics, the ones you can't recycle at home, and they make things out of them that then they sell and support their community. You can bring your clean number 5s to the church and we will get them to Community on the Rise. We're also supporting Chocolate Milk Mommies, a group of Black women who are committed to breastfeeding and supporting Black maternal health care by providing holiday gifts for some of their families who need extra support. We still have some ornaments on our glass table. I hope you'll take one with you today and bring those gifts back by Wednesday so we can get those to those families this week. There is nothing wrong with celebrating Christmas or any of the other holidays we've mentioned today, or the several others I didn't have time to discuss. Our challenge and our unique perspective of truly being a space of theological diversity is to remember that so many other holidays are celebrated this season. And while they differ in ritual and celebration, they are similar by emphasizing the importance of community, the importance of caring for other people tangibly, and, as my favorite winter holiday character, the Grinch, says, the focus on kindness and love, the things we need most. Happy holidays to each of you.
Piper gets it. Greeting one another. In the spirit of inclusivity and welcome, please take the next few minutes to greet those around you, especially those you may not recognize.
We could find our way back to our seats. All right, start. Open her up.
The prelude prepares us for worship, I guess. Well, it says prelude, so
Very good.
prelude.
Very good.
The next part is the meditation moments.
Now is that time in our community when we share what we carry with us this day, whether joy or sorrow. For those of you online, please share your joys and sorrows in the chat and hold one another in love. For those of you in person today, you are now invited to come forward and drop a stone in honor or in memory of what is on your heart today. Please come forward. Today we celebrate with all of our fall graduates, especially with Kimberly Kirkland, who just graduated with her Master of Arts in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. We're so proud of you. We also lift up David Corliss, who had a stroke this past week. So please keep Linda and David in your thoughts and minds this week, and reach out to Linda and offer your support. If you have updates you'd like me to share with the congregation, please let me know. Let us keep one another in our hearts and minds this week. And I'd also like to lift up that on Tuesday evening at 6:30, we will be having our Blue Holiday service, which is our grief service for those of you who are struggling a bit during the holidays. So please come here Tuesday evening if you'd like to participate in that service. Please join me in the spirit of meditation, followed by a moment of silence. Today's meditation was written by the Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Strong. We are in the midst of the season of celebration. Celebrations of the birth of new hope, of the festival of lights, of the triumph of freedom. The darkness of the year is lifting, and the time of light grows longer. We have gathered with an anticipation of hope for peace on earth and in our homes. We have gathered this season of celebration seeking comfort to soften the pain and the losses our lives have suffered in the fast retreating year. We have gathered to worship joyfully within this season of celebrations with the tenderness and love of family and friends around us. Let us be embraced by the strength and power of this sacred space that we each bring as we create this beloved community. Let joy and sorrow join in the fullness of our living. Let the power and strength we embody join us together as we move through the seasons of celebration into a new year with a new vision of hope for peace on earth. Let us be silent together. Amen and blessed be. Would someone who has not opened a present like an opportunity? Thank you, John.
Welcome. Good morning. Pause for congregation response. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist Church, which includes our congregations in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa and our folks online. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are today, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. To all who are here this morning, welcome home.
The Advent Wreath. As Unitarian Universalist, Advent asks, what are we waiting for and preparing for in our own lives and in the lives of our world? In this season of long nights, Advent invites us to explore the themes of hope, peace, joy, and love. On this fourth and final Sunday of Advent, we light a candle for love. What love is growing within you this season? May the light of this candle help us bring more love into the world.
You've come to the right church. We're the only church in town singing The Grinch this morning. But before we sing that, we'd like to sing one other short choral anthem for Christmas. They're both very short, both of these pieces. The first piece we'd like to sing is Sing We Now of Christmas. And an interesting tidbit is it was arranged by Fred Prentice, who this piece was my favorite long before I knew any of this story, or long before I moved to Alabama. Fred was a professor at the University of Alabama, and his wife was the choir director at this church. So I thought that was a nice little tidbit. So we'll start with that and end with Grinch.
Sing we now of Christmas.
Ringing the chive.
Oh, another. Hang on. You're gonna ring the chime.
Ah, there we go. That makes more sense.
Well, don't put your finger there. Okay, just. Two more times. Very good. Thank you. Oh, that's me. Okay. Announcements. We appreciate your attention to this morning's announcements. You'll find announcements in our order of service or on the slides for those of you at home. And if you require accommodations during the service, well, you've already been here for a while, but our ushers are still in the back and are ready to assist. Please fill out your connection card. It's the greenish insert. And there's opportunities at the bottom. Folks online, your connection card should be in the link, in the description, or in the chat. And we appreciate everyone filling out the connection card. We are gathering items to share at the holidays, as Julie said earlier, for the Chocolate Milk Mommies. And they meet here at the church and need some support this holiday season. Please grab a green ornament or two from the table in the narthex and bring all the items to the church by December 21st at noon. Folks online, you're welcome to participate by sending funds to the church or by ordering items and having them sent to the church. Toys and books are welcome, but the greatest needs are clothes, diapers, wipes, and gas cards. And if you wish to make a cash donation instead, please do so as soon as possible so that we'll have time to purchase a donation. And please label your donation Chocolate Milk Mommies. We invite you to the rest of the holiday services. As Julie also mentioned, we have the Blue Holiday Service this Tuesday, the 20th, at 6:30. And that's for all who are grieving this season. And our Christmas Eve service will be on the 24th at 1 p.m. in Tuscaloosa and 5:30 here in Birmingham. And we'll have carol singing starting at 5. Our Christmas Day service will be online only. So don't come to the church next Sunday. It's online only. And we will meet again in person New Year's Day for our fire communion service. So please join us for any and all of our special holiday services. Also, Farrah Tatum asked me to make a special announcement. Please let Cindy Newton, Farrah, or Grant Tatum know if you would like to sign up and help out with the coffee team. Please. Okay, and we have one more special announcement, and thank you. If you'll notice, you also have an insert with picture of all the staff here at UUCB. And if you'd like to make a donation to the holiday staff gift in this box, and it'll be in the narthex. So please donate, because our staff works really hard to help us move along through the year. Thank you. I'm used to saying, and now the prelude prepares us for service, but we've already done that.
The offertory. Our church is supported by those who call our church home, and by those who support the efforts of our church to change the world for the better. If this is your first time here with us, please pass the plate. We are just glad you are here. If you wish to join our church this morning, please come up during the offertory to sign the membership book. We share our cash plate every Sunday with organizations whose work reflects UU values to care for marginalized persons, advocate for real and systemic change, defend our environment, and promote justice and equity for all. Today's Share the Plate will be for Community on the Rise. Community on the Rise prioritizes people experiencing homelessness and poverty in Birmingham, Alabama. They focus on 4 vital tenets, connecting our community to housing, education, healing, and employment. Everything we do starts with meaningful relationships and love. We are building community as we fight poverty. Our work to honor our 4-part mission includes recovering identity documents like birth certificates and Alabama state IDs/licenses, providing weekly safe space and group compassion-based therapy in our social enterprise, and housing program that hires survivors of homelessness to recycle the number 5 PP plastic waste in our on-site workshop. UUCB collects clean number 5 plastics year-round for Community on the Rise. So please bring your number 5s from home to church. We appreciate your donations by either placing them in the plate, by mailing your donation to the church, or by using PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. Our Venmo account is UUCBHAM. Our Zelle account is office@uucbham.org. Please designate whether your offering is for UUCBHAM or Community on the Rise. Thank you for your generous support of our church and Share the Plate recipient. May we give in love and in hope. Blessed is the dark in which our dreams stir and are revealed. Blessed is the dark of earth where seeds come to life. Blessed are the depths of the ocean where no light shimmers, the womb of all early life. Blessed is the light into which we awake. Blessed the light that sparkles on the waters, that calls the tree forth from the seed and calls the shadow forth from the tree. Blessed are we as we move through the darkness and through light.
Postlude.
Looks like, great job. Looks like that sneaky Grinch left us one more present. Who wants to open it? Anybody that hasn't opened one yet? You want to open it? Well, get up here. Come here. Thank you, Henry. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing number 226, People Look East, in the hardcover hymnal.